Cochiti Lake recreation area. General area I'm heading to this morning. I got a couple of really interesting listings coming up here, and I'm going to show you one of them today. So we're coming on I-25 south. This is La Bajada, the bad one. It's a big hill, and they've been having construction on it for like the last 2 years. It's finally finished. It's very nice. They redid both sides of the road, northbound and southbound. This is kind of a mess because there was always turning out to be accidents here because the road was sinking and making all these weird dips. Anyway, we're going to be heading over to a little town called Pena, which is out that way. Pena is one of two small areas of land in between Cochiti Dam and Bernalillo, really, on the Rio Grande River, near the Rio Grande River, that is private land. Almost all of the land between the dam of Cochiti and all the way down to Bernalillo and then some is Pueblo land. There's a number of Pueblos up and down the river, and they own a lot of the land and the water rights on both sides of the river, going up into the Jemez Mountains, which you'll probably run into maybe some BLM land and national forest and stuff like that up there. Starting with Cochiti. And Cochiti is a small little town where there's about maybe 150 houses. It's all on Cochiti Pueblo land, so there's a land lease involved if you buy a house out there, but you can certainly do that. It's beautiful. It's a nice little community, and it's very close to the lake, and they also have a golf course too, which is pretty fun. So 10 miles out to Pena, a little bit further to get out to Cochiti. All in all, it's about maybe 25-minute drive to Santa Fe. And it's pretty easy. You just go on I-25 until you hit this road, and this takes you straight out to Cochiti and Pena. I've sold a number of properties in Pena over the last couple of years. The one I'm going to show you today is one that I sold to my current seller as a buyer about 5 or 6 years ago. It's a 10-acre farm that is located right at the beginning of Pena when you drive in, and the farm has a older adobe home on it, like pretty simple 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, and there's a single wide mobile home that's like from the 70s, but it's in really good condition. Both of these places are livable. There's also a whole bunch of like barns and sheds and stuff, and ability to store farm equipment. The property has been used in the past for probably growing mostly alfalfa and using flood irrigation from the ditch because it's right on the acequia. And let me step back a second. So there's an entity that controls all the water between Cochiti and Albuquerque, and that's the Middle Rio Grande Water Conservancy District. And it's a mouthful. Even if you try to say it by the initials, the MRGCD, I always get confused. Anyways, they operate all of the irrigation and also control the delivery of water downstream from Cochiti Dam all the way to Elephant Butte and beyond. It's all part of the process of engineering the water in the state through our main river, through the Rio Grande River. So in any case, Pena has extensive irrigation water rights with most properties, and they allot that based on how big the property is, how many acres are you flood irrigating, and everything like that. And the ditches themselves are very large and they're concrete, so they're not messing around. So this property that I'm going to be selling soon has a lot of water, and in fact it has 3 different water sources. So one of them is the actual ditch irrigation rights from the acequia, which is surface water, and you can flood irrigate the property. That's kind of old school. This current use for this property is not that. but you could do that on roughly 6 acres of the 10. And then there's also a well. There's a 3 acre foot well, so that's essentially 1 million gallons of water per year that you're allowed to take from the well. The water table is very shallow in Pena Blanca because you're so close to the river. You're actually in the river basin. So the wells out here are 40 or 50 feet deep. That's it. And then finally it's hooked up to community water. So both the house and the mobile home, you could switch them back and forth from the well to the mobile home, however you wanted to do it. But you cannot use that community water for irrigating purposes. So the main function of this property for the last 5 years has been as an outdoor cannabis growing facility. My seller, he bought it back then. He's the seller now. Owns and operates one of the largest cannabis producers in the state of New Mexico, and he's selling now the farm, which is the outdoor grow operation, and we're also listing the warehouse in town, which is a year-round controlled environment cannabis production facility. Out at the farm, they did a lot of major upgrades and improvements, including power, a new bridge across the ditch, which I'll show you, and then I think it's 9 professional grade greenhouses from California Greenhouses. All of the irrigation required to bring the water to the greenhouses, etc. Yeah, that's a lot. So I'm going to be showing you all that today once I get out to the property, which will just be a couple more minutes because we're doing all the photography and the drones today. I won't be doing a video of the warehouse, mostly for security purposes, but there'll be plenty of pictures. What we're really hoping for is one buyer for both properties. It's going to have to be somebody who's pretty involved in the cannabis industry, maybe somebody that wants to expand coming here from out of state, or maybe it's somebody in state who's looking for basically move-in ready cannabis production facility with the warehouse and for with the farm too. So that's probably enough as far as the details go of the farm. I'm looking straight out at the Jemez Mountains here. It's such a gorgeous view. I always love this part of the drive. And then as you get over this hill, you're looking down into the valley, the Rio Grande Valley. And I'll pan over here. You see that kind of smooth part that looks a little unnatural? That's actually the Cochiti Dam. And that's a place you could go swimming, and I think you could take like little fishing boats out or little sailboats. It's not like power boating or water skiing or anything like that. I think it's a no-wake lake, but you know, we don't have a lot of opportunities for water entertainment, and that's one of them right there. And just past the lake is the town of Cochiti. You can see some houses back up in there on the ridge. That's where Cochiti, the town, is. If you happen to have little kids live out here, there is an elementary school, and it's coming up here on the right. Oh, sorry, on the left. That's Cochiti Elementary right there. Don't know much about it. I think it only goes to 6th grade, and after that, you got to go to Bernalillo for high school. That's probably about a 40-minute bus ride. Well, on the bus, it's probably an hour and 40 minutes. So it's not exactly close. For that reason, you probably don't see a lot of younger kids living out here. But maybe you do. I don't know. I haven't been out here for quite some time. I've sold a few houses in Cochiti, but like I said, there's a land lease on there, so you need to pay a certain amount for the lease every month. And also that lease agreement is up in, I think, 2060. So we're really getting close to, you know, just a little over 30 years. And that's going to start causing problems for lenders. They don't like to see that house is maybe not going to belong to you after 30 years. So it's a little bit of a gray area, and hasn't really been a topic of discussion. It's really something that's up to Cochiti Pueblo to decide, and they've not really given any indication one way or the other what they're planning on doing. All right, well, there's a new sign, dispensary now open. That's not where we're going. Because this facility, the farm, is not open to the public. So now we're heading south on Highway 22, just over the hill here, and we're coming into Pena Blaca, and I'll probably just I'll drive across the bridge, show you the entrance, and then I'll finish up after I'm done with our photographer. Everything is really green still. There's been a touch of fall now and then, but it's actually been really hot this week too, so this fall is sort of teasing us a little bit. It's not quite here, but man, when this gets to another month from now, all these cottonwoods are going to be just golden yellow. It's so pretty. It's really my favorite time of year. So there's the ditch right there. You can see it. It's massive. It's no messing around ditch right there. And there's the check dam. We're actually pulling right up. You see that fence right there? There's the check dam for the next door property. There's the check dam for the farm. And then here's the farm itself. Very well fenced, etc. And there's Damien right there. Here we are. It's gonna pop out and it's opened up. Figured we'd start out here since agua es vida. I'm really actually surprised to see how full this is still. This is probably a product of all the rain that we've been getting this summer. We've had a great monsoon season. Usually by around this time of year, this ditch is drained down and pretty dry, but it's flowing and it's got tons of water in it. So this bridge is new as of 5 years ago. Looks like that post needs to be fixed. The bridge is actually owned by the owner of the farm and the next door neighbors right here. I think they have some sort of little agreement in place. This road all along here essentially is an easement or access road to the ditch. Here's your check valve. So when it's time to water, you get your tool and you crank that thing open. And I'll show you where it comes out on the other side. It would have to be changed around just a little bit to get the water down past the greenhouses, but it's something that you can do. Just kind of fair warning, nobody's really been out here for a while, so it's a little rough around the edges, but you can see that there's a fairly formidable gate right here that's open right now. There's fairly formidable fencing all around the front of the property because that's Highway 22, so it's a little bit busy. And this is the main entrance. There's the adobe 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and then there's the double wide or single wide down over there. So again, we're on 10 acres here, and there's just a lot of weeds and stuff, so I want to prepare you for that. And the living quarters probably could use a little TLC too. They came out here with a couple of tractors this past week and tried to get everything mowed down and cleaned up and everything. But you can have on-site managers living here. This is on, has natural gas, has electricity, has a great big tree for shade and a nice little fenced in backyard. They also have a dog run here in case your person wants to have dogs on the property. This is separately metered. All the stuff is turned off right now, so it might be a little dark in some areas. This is kind of like a porch setup. This is actually going into the trailer. There's your full bathroom with a washer and dryer. Front bedroom. You know, it's not too bad. There's definitely been some mice that have gotten in here since nobody's been living here. 70s jam all the way. I would probably suggest that refrigerator get gone. I don't know if any of this stuff works, but that's original. I mean, come on. Tapping. That thing is cool. So a little dining room area. This is on forced air. I'm sure that, well, no, there is cooling in here. It's an evaporative cooler that sits up on top. Windows are not great. And then a back bedroom. Basically all the seals have been broken, but look at that view. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 greenhouses with 2 smaller ones that are probably veg or for the moms. And then you have another half bathroom back here, 3/4. Oh no, it's actually a full tub. Got you. All right. So let's move on. It obviously is going to need some TLC, just like everything else on this place. But the infrastructure that's been added onto this is pretty fantastic. And therein lies the value of this property. Oh, I forgot to show you the check dam. I walked right past it. But I'll also come over here to show you the gas meters, 2 of them. So 1 separate for each house. And there might be a 3rd one for the greenhouses. There's some pretty major infrastructure down there in terms of power and electric and gas and backup. There's just some parts of the old bridge. So here's where the water will flow in. Clearly you need to make a clean out happen. And then you raise your check dam here, which allows the water to go down there. Past, I'm not sure where it comes out on the other side of the, probably on the other side of the double wide. So nice and shady in here with all these big cottonwoods. They probably are going to need some attention. They look pretty healthy, but I'm seeing some things that definitely could be sort of trimmed up. But this is where you want to hang out during the heat of the day, which it is right now. I've been walking around out here for a while now, and it's definitely hot. So we'll kind of cut over here. There's another gas meter. This is the entrance to the adobe house. And let me show you a little bit of infrastructure out here. This is the well house. And that standpipe right there, that white standpipe coming out, is the actual well itself. There's a couple like lean-to shed things. There's some tractors. There's a mower. There's a baler, I think. And then a cute as heck little old trailer that could be fixed up and be super cool. And then this well and pump. Everything with the well is good. That was all tested and upgraded. And then you've got a Morgan here for storage. It looks pretty clean. They do have a satellite dish around back. I'm not sure what internet is available here. I have to remind myself of that. But it looks like they got some phone lines coming in, and there's the electric meter for this house. So that's 2 meters so far. It's on, but the meter's on, but they have all the power turned off to the whole property. Meters are on, power's turned off. Okay, so a little cute, but it's also a little ramshackle. But I think it's livable, it's safe. You could really get this to a place where someone could be comfortable out here. Hoping there's nothing in there. Visitor sign in. There's a little closet around here. So that's one little entry room. It's nice and bright in the kitchen here. The appliances are older. The windows are all, need some attention there. But a nice little kitchen area. And then you have a little step down to some brick floors. And some nice ceilings with beams on them. And this funky old thing, which probably works just fine. There's a little bit of spalling around the base. That's just kind of the plaster that's been falling off. I don't see any problems with that. Nice little built-in. It's almost like a armoire that's built into the wall. Great views of the outside. This is actually the other door, the other front door. Every place in Santa Fe needs to have a front door, right? 2 front doors. The bathroom needs a little work. Toilet, sink. It looks like somebody peeled off a lot of the tile. Maybe there's a leak behind that wall that needs to be checked out. And then a pretty clean looking room back here. They've got some heaters laying around, so that tells me maybe these windows aren't the greatest, but we're a lot lower down, so winters down here in Pena Blanca are gonna be a little less extreme than they would be, say, in Santa Fe at 7,000 or 8,000 feet. Cool little built-in bookshelf there. This is like stam all the way. This looks like a stam closet. The 2 drawers down below. You know, nothing that looks like a problem there. You know, I definitely would probably recommend an inspection. Make sure that the roof has, you know, been maintained. There's no issues coming on. I'd definitely take a look at that. You know, so it's not perfect, but with a little elbow grease, somebody could be living in here full time. The main issue is all these weeds. It's just been so rainy. It doesn't really look entirely pretty right now because they just mowed all this stuff, but there's your vintage trailer. I don't think any of this stuff has been touched since he bought this place. So now we'll head down to the fun part. There's an old tractor in there too, by the way. It's a mower on it. So if someone lived out here, they could take care of these weeds without them getting to where they got to right now. And I'll show you some examples of that. So this is the north end of the property, or sorry, east end of the property. Got this tall wire fence all the way around. That is a next door neighbor over there. Very overgrown plot, very thick. Probably used to be farmed at one point, but not anymore. This area in here, separately fenced off and enclosed, has 6 temperature controlled buildings to be used as your drying rooms. So after everything is harvested, you bring them over here. So my phone shut off because it got too hot. So anyway, I'm standing inside one of the containers. This is full power down here. There's a camera system set up there, and then around the corner is a 200 amp sub panel that is providing all the electricity to these 6 containers, which I said are all climate controlled. You can see the unit right there. It actually feels nice and cool in here. It's dark. That's why I had to come in here, because my phone is actually cool enough to shoot. So this is where you will bring the cannabis in after you harvest it, but before you trim it up. So let it dry and take shape. Plenty of room, and obviously they're very secure. This one just happened to be open, but every single one of these is locked right now. And then plus there's an additional lock to keep people from out of there. And a little peekaboo window, so you can look in through there if you want to just eyeball it without actually going inside. Hopefully my phone will keep going. I might have to take a break again. There's your 200 amp sub panel there. And again, this area is all fenced by itself too, because that's where essentially your product ends up. And it's not easy to steal a whole plant, but it's easy to throw a bunch of dried cannabis in a bag. Now, I'm just gonna come down here and show one quick example of the greenhouses, because they're all pretty much the same. Some of them, it's very dark inside and hard to see what's going on. But one of them, I can give you an example of what it looks like. This whole section down here is behind its own locked gate too. And then that property runs straight down that way along that fence, back to almost to where those trees are, maybe not quite that far. There's another building here that's like a storage facility. Maybe processing or work area. I'm not really sure because I couldn't get in there. You can see how tall those weeds are up against the greenhouses. Imagine where I'm walking now, that's all what this was. So they had to bring in some pretty big tractors to get it all under control. But again, if you're out here and you're working and you've got a crew, this will all be maintained. It kind of got away from him this summer. So backup generator, just in case you lose power down here. So I'm just showing some of the infrastructure. There's probably the output. Here's a shot down the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you have the two smaller ones, like I mentioned, on the end. We can peek in here. This one's kind of dark, but there you go. There's the schedule. Tons of power, climate controlled, humidity controlled probably too. I think with these swamp coolers, they really have a lot of ability to maintain that growing environment in there. Woo, look at those weeds. But tons of power down here. Tons of power. Because look at all this equipment you need to run. There you go. All just weeds. Waiting for somebody to put it back in action. So really good opportunity here to just basically step right in and start up by next spring. Even over the winter, you could work on getting things back in order, getting them ready. This one, saw a snake here before, but I'll try to go in. It's a little bit smaller, same concept though. There's your, that's probably a heater, gas heater. Lots of fans, irrigation. I mean, it's very professional setup. This is number one. I'll just close that. And then this is the property boundary on this side. That's looking back towards Pena Blaca. So you really have no neighbors over here, except for that house that's the neighbor up by the road, by the bridge. This is all farmland down in here. I think there might be a neighbor all the way down on the other end. Again, but it's mostly farmland. If there's any houses or anything like that, it's going to be back over in there. So even though you're in a little town, there's plenty of privacy out here and security. There's cameras everywhere, so you can keep an eye on things in case you don't have someone full-time. So that's a tour of the farm in Pena Blaca. This is going to be for sale for $2.1 million. And it will also be for sale in conjunction, but separately, with the warehouse, which is a climate-controlled year-round growing facility that has 9 growing rooms and 1 for veg, 1 for the moms, plenty of production space, a full laboratory, separate storage container like those white ones up there for the production of the rosin, which is a little more dangerous. So that's separate from the main building. It's on 2.5 acres. It's 18,000 square feet, and it's fully fenced and gated. Won't be doing a video, but I will have photos of it so you can see what that building is like. That building and property will be listed for $2.7 million. This is an excellent opportunity for someone in the cannabis business who's looking to expand and take over an operation that is basically ready to go out of the box. So that concludes the tour. I'm going to stand over here in the shade for a minute. It's like 95 degrees down here. 505-570-1422. I'll give you a personal tour. Thank you.